Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, I am doing a review on the Shaaanxo palette by bhcosmetics. I am so excited to film this video. I have always been a fan of Shannon. I watch her daily vlogs, I watch all of her main channel videos. I've watched her like since her beginning. She is the only YouTuber that I've actually stayed loyal to, I will admit. I don't know, there's just something about her, like she's just a really genuine person and she's such a hard worker, and I absolutely love Shannon for the person she is. So when she said she was coming out with this palette, I 100% for sure knew I was going to buy it and support her, and I knew she was going to create such an amazing palette anyway. I remember ages ago in one of her vlogs, this would have been like a couple of years ago now, she said that she would only ever bring out an eyeshadow palette and lipstick colors that she was 100,000% happy with. And I think she said it around the same time where she started creating her eyelash line. So yeah, like I knew 100% that this was going to be an amazing palette that she's put so much time and effort into, and yeah, it is amazing, let me just tell you now. For the look that I'm wearing today, I've used only eyeshadows from the Shaaanxo palette, and I didn't film a tutorial on it, but if you guys do want a tutorial on this like cut crease look that I've created, just let me know down in the comments down below and like this video, and I definitely will recreate this look and record a tutorial for you guys. So I will definitely say that these eyeshadows are medium skin tone friendly as well for all of my tan girls out there. So this is the packaging, this is the box that it came in, and that's the palette. So on one side you have got the lipstick side, which I have yet to touch, and then on the other side you have the eyeshadows, which I've already used. So this palette only took about 10 days to arrive here in Australia, which I think is really good, especially coming from America. Shipping was reasonable. Like bhcosmetics is such an affordable company and they come out with some amazing products. So you know that you'll never go wrong with these. Starting off with the eyeshadows. So I'm going to swatch these on my arm just because I can't really swatch them on my face. But this first shade here is matte, and it's just a really good base. So that's that shade there. This is really good if you have like a primer that you've put on your eyes or a base that you've put on your eyes that is a little bit tacky and you just need to set it. So this is a really good setting color, and when you rub it in, it does go quite sheer. So if you just wanted that little extra coverage or needed to lighten up something on your eyes, this is definitely a great color to do that with. I personally wouldn't use this color alone just because it's extremely light for my skin tone, but this is a really good base color. So the next shade here is probably one of my most favorite shades. It's like a really champagne-y gold but not gold eyeshadow. I love it. I think this would actually be a really nice highlight as well. So that's that there. Extremely reflective and beautiful. I've actually got this shade on the inner part of my eyes. Really beautiful. Pigmentation is amazing. When I first applied this, I did it with a wet brush because I wanted to see how pigmented I could get it, but then I soon came to realize that you don't really need a wet brush because these eyeshadows are so pigmented as they are. Like you really can't get any more pigmentation than what that is there. So moving along, the next shade here is more of like a rose gold undertone, I would say. I definitely love this shadow as well. So that's that one there. So it's definitely got that like kind of rose gold undertone to it compared to that second shade. I've got this shade as the main eyeshadow shade on my eyelid here. Moving on to the next shade, and this is probably one of the most interesting shades to me. It's this yellow based eyeshadow here, and it is a matte shade. The reason why I say this is probably the most interesting one to me is because like just having a yellow eyeshadow can make your eyeshadow look from extremely cool tone to extremely warm tone, so it's a great color to have in your collection. So you can see that better there. That's what the shade looks like. It's like a mustardy kind of orangey yellowy eyeshadow. Really good to warm up your crease. The next shade, which is this middle shade here, is kind of like your really bronzy gold brown type of shimmery shade. Again, very pigmented. And that's what it looks like there. You can see how it's really reflective as well, really pigmented. I don't think there's much else to say about that shade. The next shade is probably my most favorite shade, and it's this terracotta one here. This is the main shade that I used in my crease today just to give it that really warm look. So that's what that shade looks like. This shade was actually a huge plus in buying this palette because when I saw it, I fell in love and I was like, I need to have a shade like that because I don't own anything like this shade, and I think it's just such a unique, versatile shade to have. Moving down to the bottom row, this is another shimmery shade. I honestly don't know how to describe this, like I'm just lost for words. I haven't used this shade yet, but it's kind of like a mauvey kind of grey kind of, I don't know, like I really don't know how to describe this shade, but you guys can see it there. I'm just going to describe it as like a mauvey grey. Again, pigmentation is amazing. It's got a lot of reflect in it as well. So the middle bottom eyeshadow here, this is the duochrome eyeshadow, and this shadow is amazing. And I don't own any duochrome, so I really wanted to try this out. So that's it there. So on first glance it looks like your basic brown, but once the light hits it you can see that it's got that bit of a green tinge to it. Let me just build that colour up more so you can see. So on my finger you'll probably be able to see it better. So it looks brown, but it's got that green reflect to it, which is the whole duochrome idea. So interesting. This is such a unique colour. I absolutely love it. Trust Shannon to come out with a colour like this. It's amazing. In one of Shannon's vlogs when she was talking about her palette in this duochrome, she showed how different bases can affect the overall outcome of what duochromes look like. So I wanted to show that to you guys again today, just in case you missed it in her vlog. So I'm just taking a white eyeliner just to create a white base. And I've just created a white base on my hand there, and then I'm going to use the black eyeliner side just to create a black base here. And then taking that onto my finger, I'm just going to pat it on and apply that to my bases. So this one here has a black base and this one has a white base. Same eyeshadow, look at the result, and it's so hard to believe that that is the same eyeshadow. So definitely when you mix it with the black base it brings out more of the green, and then when you have it with the white base it brings out more of like really similar to kind of like this shade here, but a bit darker. That's kind of what it reminds me of, but it definitely hides a lot of that green shimmer pigmentation and brings out the brown shimmer in it more. Another versatile colour because you can literally use it 3 different ways and it's the same eyeshadow. Last but not least for the eyeshadows is this last one here, which I explained was a kind of like a black base but with a really fine pink glitter through it. So that's the black eyeshadow there. Probably not the best pigmentation compared to the others, but it's really good because I prefer black eyeshadows that aren't that pigmented, but you can definitely build up the pigmentation because when I'm smoking out my eyes and all that kind of stuff, I prefer it to come on a lot more sheer and I don't have to worry about the pressure I'm applying and all that kind of stuff. But I'll just apply another layer on top of there so you can see how pigmented it really is. And that's it there. So you can see you can definitely build up the pigmentation on it. So all in all, I'm very impressed with the eyeshadows in here, and of course if you guys are watching this video because you're Shaaanxo fans, you probably already know everything about this palette anyway. So moving on to the lipstick side, I actually haven't swatched any of these yet, so I have no idea what they're going to look like, but I am going to swatch them on my lips just to give you guys a better view. If you want to get really technical, you'll notice that the eyeshadow side is actually a lot more lighter pink than the lipstick side, which has more of like the pinchy peaky colours showing through it, but they blend seamlessly together. So if you can't be bothered reading that this is the 9 colour eyeshadow palette and reading that this is the lipstick palette, you can just look at the colour, be like, yep, that's the whiter side, that's the eyeshadows, yep, that's the colourful side, that's the lipsticks. And because I am such a clean person, I've already got makeup all over the palette. And this is how I clean my palettes. I just use a makeup wipe and wipe them down. So getting into it. So this is what the lipstick colours look like. You can see that there's a little bit of condensation, especially on this shade here, but that's totally normal. Like, it happens to all lipsticks when they've come to environments where condensation occurs, obviously. And I cannot find my lip brush, so I will just be using my finger. So starting off with the first shade here. The pigmentation of the first shade, I don't think it's very pigmented, but it is a lighter shade, and you do find that with a lot of lighter shades that they aren't very pigmented. So this is definitely, I feel, a very wearable pink lip, even for my skin tone. Like, I would rock this lip color any day of the week. Pigmentation isn't that great, I would have to admit, but if you're just looking for that nice tint of color, that sheer color on your lip, this is definitely perfect for you. Moving on to the next shade, this shade is definitely more of a coral. I don't do too well with corals just because I don't think they look very good on me. So that is what the second shade looks like. It's not really a color I would go for, but I still think it's a very wearable color as well. I think it's a good spring color, but again, not really a color I'd reach for, to be honest. Definitely creamy, glides on really easily. It's just not my color. Moving on to the next shade, this is a red, but it's more of like your orange based red. Please excuse the messy application. I definitely think that the darker we go, the more pigmented it is. This one was way more pigmented than the first two shades. Really, really love this shade. Moving on to our first nude color. So that's the shade on my lips. Love this color, absolutely love it. And I feel like the longer that a color stays on your lips, the better it looks. I don't know why, but I feel like it just evens itself out a bit more once it's been on your lips for a while, because like as I'm looking at it now, it's like it's becoming more pigmented. I don't know what's happening, but I love this color, it's amazing. The next shade is like this really mauvey purple. I'm a big fan of mauves and purples, especially when they mix together. So that's that middle shade there. It definitely comes off a little bit more pink on the lips than it looks in the pan, but still definitely like more on your purple side than your pink side. But I don't know, I expected it to be a bit more mauvey than what it's showing up as. It just looks very pink on the lips. So the next shade is this pink one here, and I have to admit I'm a little bit, that just like came out in a massive clump because it was really melted. So be careful of the ones that have condensation. I don't know if you guys can see in the pan, but that color is extremely melty. As I was saying, I'm a little bit scared of this color because me and pinks don't suit very well. So that's the pink shade there, extremely Barbie pink. Me and pinks don't go very well together. This is definitely a very pigmented shade. It's actually stained my finger. Oh my god guys, this last row, this row is my jam. Look at how beautiful these colors are. I really can't wait. So I'm going to start off with the lighter nude shade here. So that's what the lighter shade looks like. In the middle of my lips is still very stained, and you can see the pink kind of showing through, so it's not as pink as it looks on camera just because my lips are stained. Again, it's still got that very light pigment to it, so it's a really beautiful sheer all over color. On to the next shade, which is kind of like this maroon, really dark, kind of like this maroon red. This is like it looks like a maroon red. It's actually very soft and melted, kind of like how this pink shade here reacted. This is how this one's reacting as well. So it's very soft, like I think I almost saw the pan just then. On my finger it looks extremely red. So it definitely comes out way different to what's in the pan. Like when you look at that, you think that it comes out as a really dark browny red. You can see there like how melted that one is compared to all the other ones there. But it definitely comes out as like a plum red. A little bit disappointed that it's not the darker color that I thought it was, but still a very beautiful wearable color. So the last shade here is this really dark brown shade that kind of looks like it's got a plum undertone to it. Definitely a lot more set than the previous shade. The color definitely looks like what it is in the pan. But that is what the last shade looks like on my lips. I freaking love this color. This is probably my favorite color, I would say. These two colors as well as that color are definitely my top three. I would say that this is probably my favorite color. Let's just, yeah, I'm gonna say it. This is my favorite color out of the whole palette. It was definitely the most pigmented, but it was the most darkest as well in the same respect. I love this color though. I love this whole palette. Thank you, Shannon, and thank you, BH Cosmetics. The thing that I was really disappointed about was how these two lipsticks came out really like melted and yucky, and how it stained my finger. And you can tell like it was that color that stained my finger. Like, that is a perfect match, and when you touch it, it feels like kind of like jelly, like mushy jelly. I am definitely super impressed with the eyeshadows. This is my favorite side. Thank you so much for watching my video, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this review on the Shaaanxo palette by BH Cosmetics, because I am definitely in love with this palette. Like, what more can I say? It's Shannon and it's her palette and it's by BH Cosmetics, and it's just an amazing combination. Like, the swatches are still on my hand, and you saw how gorgeous the lipstick colors were. Absolutely love this palette. Definitely something that I will treasure in my life. I really do hope though that Shannon brings out a highlight palette, because I feel like that would be her thing. Like, I know lipsticks are her thing, eyeshadows, like, I know that she's just good at makeup all rounds, but I feel like if she ever brought out a highlight palette, that would just be my life complete, because she's such like a highlight goddess that I just feel like that's her thing, and she can just nail that on the head. I just think that she'll make an amazing highlight palette. Wink wink, nudge nudge, Shannon. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.